afternoon. Glad to have you join us on the news at 1 on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. I am Frama Pani. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has flagged off campaign against unethical waste disposal in the city. While on a roadshow, the FCT Permanent Secretary Olushade Adeshola says it is significant to create awareness for the protection of the environment. Onoze Yakubu reports.
Worried by the rate of unethical environmental practices in the FCT as a result of poor waste disposal by households and business organizations operating within the FCT, the FCTA Permanent Secretary Olushade Adeshola, represented by Samuel Atang, says that the administration, through the Abuja Environmental Protection Board and other partners, have been making efforts at ensuring that all waste are evacuated promptly.
What we are setting out to do today is one of the clear mandates, one of the core mandates of the federal government.
Try as much as possible to use sufficient biodegradable waste. We must not use too much of polythene bag that often...
Convener of the campaign and acting director of the FCT Reform Coordination and Service Improvement Department, Dr. Jumai Amadu, disclosed that the initiative is long overdue, considering the habit of some residents converting public facilities to waste dump sites.
We should actually go out and still equate to the minds of FCT residents on the need for them to make use of these facilities that government has made available, and at the same time also start imbibing the habit of this recycling bin that we also have.
Make sure your shops and your residents and your plazas have enough waste bin to hold the waste. It makes our job a lot easier if waste is properly containerized.
The campaign, which kicked off from the Area 1 roundabout, passed through Area 10 by the UTC to Wuse Market and finally terminated at Dijabi Motor Park. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
As part of activity to outreach targeted the internally displaced persons of New Kuchugoro camp.
That was the mood at the Kuchugoro internally displaced persons camp, where children and women were excited, reasons or know much about the importance of the vaccine.
There's no services that you come here that we don't render. We have our immunization program, such as children from 0 to 1 year, a year and 5 months from birth.
Services such as measles, DPT vaccine, malaria and cough treatment were administered on the children and pregnant women. However, the story of 19-year-old Grace Dogo is a pathetic one with little or no knowledge on how to handle a newborn. She's left to cater for a malnourished child.
They advised me to take him to hospital. Yes, so that he can get the safe.
Improper feeding. She is not on exclusive breastfeeding and the child has never taken any vaccine right from the birth. So I have to advise her that the baby he needs breast milk.
The African Vaccination Week, which is a global event commemorated every last week in the month of April, is to provide people with the opportunity to know the importance of vaccine and how it protects human lives. In Abuja, Aisha Oba Ali, NTA News.
In continuation of the restoration of the FCT Master Plan, FCT Ministerial Task Team on Sanitation has revisited Zamani Village along the airport road and pulled down more than 600 illegal structures in the community. Onoze Yakubu reports that the exercise left residents of the community counting their losses.
The consequence of buying land from the local chiefs is what's played out by this ongoing demolition, as the bulldozers of the Development Control Department did not spare any contravened structure in the community.
The government of Mohamed Musa Bello as FCT minister is heavily committed to the removal of illegal structures and illegal expansion of indigenous village. The indigenous communities have not been, the indigenous houses have not been touched, while the other illegal structures like the one you see behind me and several others here have all been pulled down as part of measures to actually rid Abuja of illegal structures.
The senior special assistant on monitoring, inspection and enforcement to the FCT minister Iharu Atta however, maintains that no compensation will be paid as the victims violated the extant rules and regulations guiding the city development. He further adds that ample time was given to the residents of the community to salvage their property. Director Development Control Department, Mukhtar Galadima, warns his staff against taking bribe from any person as punitive measures await anyone who engages in such acts.
Even gives or collect money is at its own peril because we have to do our work and we have to do what is right.
Some residents of the community lament their ordeal.
I buy land for the chief.
My family, all of them, they have that day, but we later run. But all my luggage, they scatter everything.
It was tears, anger, and lamentation as the residents turned to onlookers watching their precious homes being pulled down by the bulldozers of the development police of the FCT. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, residents of Maraba, Nyanya, Cairo, and other road users residing along the route have commended the level of work on the ongoing road expansion project. Hawagimba reports that residents spend hours before getting to their destinations.
On a day like this, along the popular Nyanya-Maraba road, commuters and residents spend hours just to get to their destinations. But with the intervention of government, the road is wearing a new look with the expansion of the road. Residents can now have a sigh of relief with the ongoing construction and expansion of the Nyanya-Maraba road, as well as construction of pedestrian bridge. Commuters and residents commend the giant stride of the federal government and the management of the Federal Capital Territory on these developments.
The federal government has done a good job in expanding the road. So far I observed yesterday, it has reduced the hold-up that has been on this road.
But I'm happy the whole place is okay now.
Caught in the act, Okada riders were seen violating the traffic rules by following one way. Residents appeal to the relevant authorities to speak to their conscience to avoid accidents.
It's very wrong for Okada to use one way.
The government have been on them. You see many times you see the VIO or the policemen seizing their bikes.
Director Vehicle Inspection Office Abdulatif Bello says all hands are on deck to ensure Okada riders do not violate the rules put in place by the Federal Capital Territory Administration.
I think the best bet is for us to, exercise little patience for the completion of that road, so that we can suggest appropriately whether Okada activity should be banned along that axis because of the, nature of roads that we have there. Our advice is for them to, possibly terminate their business at the gateway.
Just like Oliver Twist, residents expect more infrastructural development from the government. Hawagimba, NTA News.
On the coming election, a former Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sani Ndanusa, has picked his nomination form to contest the Niger State governorship ticket of the All Progressive Congress, APC, ahead of the 2023 general elections, Ifeoma Ojinta reports.
The former Minister of Sports, who picked the governorship nomination form, was accompanied by chieftains and loyalists of the APC, who described the aspirant as a distinguished son of Niger State, an astute administrator, a professional whose humility and dedication to service are worthy of emulation.
We called him a tripod in Niger State because in every senatorial district in Niger State, he has a holding. He's immensely popular and without appearing to flatter ourselves, he's perhaps the most qualified person for this job, both in terms of capacity and politically.
He has the capacity and he has said all. The only two aspects that he has left is the issue of women and the youth. Surely from his antecedents, we know he's going to develop the youth and the women.
Humbled by the large turnout of supporters who had urged him on, the Niger State governorship aspirant, Engineer Sani Ndanusa, says he has the capacity to redefine governance in Niger State.
Niger deserves the best. We are going to reach out to all stakeholders, carry them along to see how we can change the narratives, take maximum advantage of the values that Niger has, so that we'll take it to the higher ground.
The Niger State governorship hopeful hails from the Niger South Senatorial District and has held various political appointments at the national and state levels. Ifoma Ojinta, NTA News.
Still on electoral matters. With the INEC portal reopened for the continual voter registration for eligible voters in the FCT, Resident Commissioner FCT INEC Yahaya Bello, in an exclusive interview with NTA, says residents should take advantage of the third and last phase of the exercise. Aisha Bali has the details.
Soon, the political space will get busy ahead of the 2023 general elections. INEC, as part of putting measures in place, is the continuous voters registration ongoing to enable many get their PVCs ahead of 2023 to avoid being denied to exercise their franchise. However, INEC has decried the issue of multiple registration due to missing voters' card, damaged cards, as well as transfers.
Local government, you want to change the local government, you don't have to do that in Anambra, you can do it in Kogi state. The portal is national, so people should, as much as possible, resist the temptation to go and register a fresh when they have another one, whether it is damaged or whether it is good.
For eligible voters, their appeal is for INEC to make the exercise seamless, as the long wait for capturing could be tiring.
Well, they've tried, but they would have improved better.
Almost 1 hour now. So when I came in here, they told me that I should wait, that they are attending to other persons. So I'm still waiting.
INEC is, however, making it known that most eligible voters are fond of not coming back for their PVCs after the exercise.
If you remember before, there was not even a smart card reader. They came out with smart card reader. The smart card reader now has been overtaken by beavers. We have been making a lot of effort to improve, technically.
For Isaac and others, they say the whole exercise is in their interest. So by 2023, none of them will be denied their right. The portal address, according to INEC, is inecvr.ng.org. In Abuja, Aisha Uba Ali, NTA News.
The holy month of Ramadan, according to scholars, is an open check from Allah to believers to renew relationship with Him through various righteous acts. But how much of this act of goodness transcends into worshippers' life after Ramadan? Onotu Yakubu brings us stories of beneficiaries and scholars' motivation for sustaining charity beyond Ramadan.
It's sundown, Ramadan 27th. This means that Abdul Mumin Umar Dobi and a host of other less privileged in this community will begin preparations to break their fast in a matter of tens of minutes. In the last 4 weeks, Abdul Mumin had no cause to worry about how to feed at dawn and dusk. This is because there has been abundance in charity from people of means.
MashaAllah, in the month of Ramadan, this month is a blessed month. So, and there are people that are blessed, that have food abundantly. So they do bring food to other people in the masjid. Those that don't have food, those that don't have means to break their fast, they do come to the masjid and they will get feed.
I am praying for them. May Allah replenish them and give them the heart to continue to do charity.
This good grace from people are not usually abound after the holy month. And in days to come, Ramadan will be over. Then they return to the open world. What becomes the fate of Abdul Mumin and others in feeding and survival in 11 months' time before another Ramadan? And what is Islam's teaching on charity during and after Ramadan?
Islam gives utmost priority to charity
And Prophet ﷺ tried to exemplify that when he was alive. In the hadith, kana ajwad ma yakun, he was the best of mankind in generosity. Wa kana ajwad ma yakun fi Ramadan, he used to be more generous in the month of Ramadan. Meaning, Prophet ﷺ generally, whether Ramadan or without Ramadan, he was known to be generous. This is a typical example of every single Muslim, that if you put the Prophet ﷺ in your front as your role model, we don't need to only be generous in the month of Ramadan.
So it is expected of you, even after the month of Ramadan, that you should continue with the good acts. You should continue with what you learn during the month of Ramadan. Just like I said, that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, meaning so that you may have the fear of Allah and abide by the rules and regulation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Islamic scholars say Almighty Allah places high premium on generosity of the well-to-do Muslims towards the less privileged, and this he emphasized with promise of manifold rewards in the hereafter. Onoto Yakubu, NTA News.
Time now to join Ifeanyi Ezumba on Business News.
Welcome to Business News. I am Ifeanyi Ezumba. Africa Development Bank is to support Nigeria develop special agro-industry processing zones as part of the efforts to ensure food security in the country. President AFDB Akinwumi Adesina disclosed this while briefing President Muhammadu Buhari in the State House, Abuja. Adesina said the bank has approved the sum of $240 million. To this effect, the Islamic Development Bank and International Fund for Agricultural Development have approved $170 million respectively for the program. Federal Account Committee has shared a total sum of 725.571 billion naira from March federal account revenue to federal government, state and local government council. Deborah Gaza-Jamaica reports.
This was made known in a communique issued at the end of FAC virtual meeting for April 2022. Total distributable revenue comprised distributable statutory revenue of 521.169 billion naira and distributable value added tax revenue of 204.405 billion naira. Current balance in the excess crude account now stands at $35.372 million. In the month under review, petroleum profit tax, PPT, oil and gas royalties, import and excise duties, companies' income tax and value-added tax all recorded tremendous increase. Deborah Gaza-Jamaica reporting for Business News.
The Petrol and National Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria says it will ensure that issues of casualization in the oil and gas industry are reduced to a minimal level. Deborah Micah has the details.
Pengasen President Festus Osifo made this known at a media party with journalists in Lagos. He also made a declaration as part of the union's congratulatory message to workers in commemoration of the 2022 International Workers' Day, marked annually on 1st May. Osifo said stakeholders will soon come together to interact and come up with a communique that is implementable on how we will further address the issue of casualization of staff. He added that the first step to addressing casualization in the oil and gas industry would be to unionize the workers. Deborah Gaza-Jamaica reporting for Business News.
To local news. Vulcanizing business is a lucrative business that has fetched both young and old opportunity to sustain themselves and in the nation's capital. Onenehi Osereme went to Jabi, where she interacted with Mohammed Jamil on the gains of the business.
Mohammed Jamil, a 35-year-old man, earns at least 3,000 naira a day in a vulcanizing business. According to him, he acquired the skill in his village, and this has helped him in taking care of his family, as well as creating employment to others.
With a trial, sometimes you get 3,000. 3,000 or 2,500. The challenging of this vulcanizer is sometimes you take a carry sheet, the rub sheet here, children like 5, 6. We don't do their side now.
I come here as often as I have any issue because of the way they handle my tires, and they have a good customer relationship. You understand that, and they recognize you as soon as you come that they need to attend to you.
Can buy the vulcanizing machine to start up the business. Today, the business has really impacted positively in the economy. Anene Osarame, reporting from Business News.
Tailoring and fashion designing is a lucrative business, even when infrastructure like electricity is epileptic. This business continues to thrive in the Federal Capital Territory. However, Nanret Swan reports that electricity seems to be a major problem, as some tailors lament.
Tailoring business is a venture that provides opportunity for easy money. Tailors who are trained in the business make different garments in different sizes for different people. With just one sewing machine, anyone can start this business at home in a small retail space. However, in the nation's capital, some tailors share challenges hindering the smooth run of this business.
At least I train like 7 people under me. Even up to now, I see half one boy under me that I'm training. Many clothes in this my box that the customer have never come and collect. And sometimes we have the light issue.
Tailors and people that sell clothes, they work hand in